And I think a big issue with like mental health and depression in this country is probably because people can't take care of themselves, and people know that. It makes you feel like a second-class citizen. It makes you feel like shit.
Or it's some sort of chemical reaction to this leaf. It's either a chemical reaction, or this thing's, it can't still be hot.
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
Welcome to Common Sense University, where common sense saves lives. I'm your teacher, Ace Smart. And since you stupid motherfuckers never go read nothing, sit your duck ass down and let me show you something. Today.
Hey squad, welcome back and thank you so much for joining me again for another show. And if you don't mind smashing that like button on your way in the door, really help me out. Now y'all know how we started off over here. Let's kick off a few words of motivation. Let's roll.
There's two ways to see the world. Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want.
There's a great story of two lumberjacks where every morning they start chopping wood at the same time, and every day they stop chopping wood at the same time. And every day one of the lumberjacks disappears for about an hour in the middle of the day, and every day he chops more wood than the other guy. And this goes on for months. And eventually the one who works all day, he says, I don't understand. Every day we start at the same time. Every day we stop at the same time. Every day you disappear for about an hour in the middle of the day, and every day you chop more wood than me. Where do you go for that hour? And the other lumberjack looks up and goes, oh, I'll go home and sharpen my axe. You know, that if you take an infinite mindset, it's not about how much you can get done each day. It's how much you can get done over the course of a career or over the course of a lifetime. And you got to take vacations, which means you turn off your email and you turn off your phone and you do not connect to the office. You know, go sharpen your axe.
Well, okay. Now that we're all feeling peachy, let's get into this story. Welcome to Sax Reacts, to this theater we call the world. So step inside and enjoy the show.
First of all, a lot of people are saying that it looks like a spray painted potato. You can hear it, it's not a potato. It doesn't sound like a potato. Watch this. He puts this leaf on it. Now this thing burns it. Or it's some sort of chemical reaction to this leaf. It's either a chemical reaction, or this thing's, it can't still be hot.
So about this whole rock situation, unless you've been living under a rock, and you've probably already caught wind of this Ken Panama thing where the rock came flying from space and landed in his backyard, and he picked it up, and now it's growing into this alien life form, and been a whole saga thing about it, right? So as of this point, it hasn't been debunked yet. I'm still calling shenanigans on the whole thing, but it's a really big deal right now. Like, everybody's into this Ken Panama situation. So that was the rock that guy was referring to, because he was reacting to the Ken Panama video, one of his hundreds of videos. But that's what it started. And this next clip is, as of a couple days ago, what that rock has become as far as what it's grown into as of a couple days ago from Ken Panama's postings. Let's take a look at this thing. It's a creepy Venom, like the movie Venom type alien thing, and it's alive. Let's check it out. So far it's grown into that massive, big, black, living blob. And remember, this is supposed to be from outer space. The rock, an asteroid or whatever, coming in and hitting the ground in Dude's backyard. But check him out, Ken Panama, on TikTok, KIN Panama. And he's got all the videos from the beginning of it to all of it. It's pretty fascinating stuff, but I still think it's shenanigans, because I think the government would have long come swooped in and snatched that up from him if it was really alien life form. But that's just my thoughts on it. Y'all let me know what you think.
Everybody pause right now. Y'all better tell me what this is.
See that? What is that?
Words or voice, prepared statements, loudspeakers, or just yelling at
The veil has lifted. They just putting it in our face at this point. Let me close my blinds. These negative entities, energy vampires, low-density beings must be fed. I hope everybody remembers Stranger Things Season 4. Vecna, an entity that feeds off the low vibrational feelings of people. Do y'all remember the scene where Vecna was actually searching for sad, angry, stressed out people? This is exactly what these entities are doing. Every angry protest, every concert of these people who are associated with these entities, I just know y'all remember the Astro World. Y'all remember this counselor. I strongly believe that she's working for the negative entity Vecna, just like these artists are. The news instilling fear into people. China and McLean pointed this out.
In this dark world we're in, I've noticed a pattern in what is being represented. People think that this stuff is just a game. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan. Not just, like Satan slipping himself in a little bit. No, full on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside down crosses all on their clothes.
Y'all better recognize that there are actual Vecnas in this world, in the entertainment industry, in Hollywood, in our government. People felt like they were in hell at this concert. It's time for everybody to open your eyes. They're not hiding it. Recognize this low vibratory state that they're trying to put everybody in. Month after month consecutively, sad and bad things have been happening. I'm trying to warn y'all to get y'all vibration right. Y'all stay dangerous.
Somebody over there.
Over where?
Right there.
Hey! What are you doing over there?
Now that's some creepy stuff walking around back there. But one, why would you take your daughter up in there with you to look for this thing that already doesn't look human, which is kind of why you going and looking for it. Two, I'm pretty positive that's the same voice and the same little girl I've seen on another video or two, some other really creepy stuff. So I'm definitely beginning to think it's staged, all staged. But if that's the case and it is all staged, dude does a really good job, because this stuff is real convincing. Like, I've posted a video on it before a couple months ago about one where it was like a skinwalker or something reaching out for that little girl back by a garden. But that looked very legit. And I thought it was real myself. But now I'm almost positive I've seen them, heard his voice because he's always behind the camera. But the little girl's name is always Carly, and it's always something creepy like that. So I think it's all staged stuff. But they keep me entertained with it. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's legit.
You recording?
Yeah.
What is that? Let me go get it. Said to get, yep. You recording?
Yeah.
What is that? Let me go get it.
It is very hard to listen to that call to that 911 tape without becoming somewhat unnerved. It actually bothered me the first time that I heard it.
Center County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53 East. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road?
What the?
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road, it's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am, I just turned on my bed light for my truck and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
According to the CAD notes and the deputy reports, this thing jumped into the back of his pickup truck and began to actually beat on the top of the cab of his truck. You could actually hear something beating on the top of the truck. The caller stated that it was beating and scratching on the top of the cab of his truck. He actually stated that he was able to engage his bed light and was able to somewhat identify this object that was in the back of his truck. At some point, he was able to slam on his brakes, and the force of inertia actually threw this thing out over his hood and onto the highway, where this thing stood up in the roadway, made its way to the wood line, and disappeared in the woods.
Shit's just getting crazier and crazier. There's something going on down in North Carolina. This dude was driving down this road. He called 911 because he saw somebody on the side of the road with their head bleeding. And this is what proceeded to happen next.
It is very hard to listen to that call, to that 911 tape.
It's one of the best UFO sightings in space happened during one of the space shuttle missions. This is from the X channel UFO Mania. This is amazing. Look at this.
Last clear. 7, go ahead. I'll tell you at 10 o'clock high. This is Houston. Say again, 7. I'll call you at 10 o'clock high.
We have an unidentified flying object.
All advised that appears to be tumbling. It just seems to be tagging along with us.
Is it strange that these orbs always come in pairs or threes? Eh? What are these things doing?
Go ahead. I'll tell you at 10 o'clock high. This is Houston.
Mate, like what? How many times have we seen those things in the sky, man? Isn't that amazing? NASA, thank you so much for releasing them after all this time. But you only did it because obviously the pressure got too much. So what does this mean for the UFO communities, Is this part of the disclosure? Is it starting to really happen? Is it going to be something that they just keep on drip feeding? But what I am happy about is that finally we can say, look, now they've admitted it. They can come forward and say, look, this is it.
True story. The definition of NASA? To deceive.
Gulfport, September 12th, 2025. Mysterious spacecraft emerges from the clouds.
Now, we've witnessed this clip before, but not from this angle. So from this angle, it looks a lot more believable, a lot more realistic. So I wanted to add that into today's compilation.
For years, the residents and people out there in the Curry area near the battlefield have reported seeing things and hearing things that they couldn't exactly understand. The Moores Creek National Battlefield does sit well off the roadway. In the years past, we have had deputies respond to that area, different noises on the battlefield itself, things being seen on the battlefield that just couldn't be explained.
So after interviewing the young man, we'll call him T, after interviewing the sheriff who sent 2 deputies out, after consulting with a cryptologist, we have no idea what he saw that night. We have no idea what it was that jumped in the back of his truck. We just don't know.
Look at that.
Look at that shit, dog. Sabrina, hurry, come. Holy shit, dog. It's a fucking meteor. It's a fucking meteor, dog. Holy shit, where'd it go? Oh my god. Oh my god, that was fucking sick. Dog, that's alien. That's alien.
What the fuck is that?
That's aliens coming to the fucking Tyler.
What? What
Tyler.
the fuck is that?
Tyler.
What the fuck is
Tyler. What the fuck is going on?
that? They're going sideways.
They're going sideways. They ain't even following no more. Hey, look at this green dot on my camera, Tyler. Look at the green dot. Look at the green dot.
I see it.
Tyler, what the fuck is going on? They're standing there. They're hovering there. Look, they're red. They're red. They're red. They're red. They're red.
What the fuck, dude?
I got that
Those
shit on
ain't
video.
meteors, bro. Look,
No.
that one's flying sideways.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Tyler. Tyler. Holy shit. What is going on right now?
What the
Oh my
fuck?
god. Oh my god.
I ain't gonna lie, that's trippy. That's some real trippy footage right there, because it definitely looked like a meteor, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything just stops. It starts going sideways through the sky. Like, okay, yeah, that's that's not a meteor. And I mean, how that would be nerve-wracking to see that in person. It'd almost be like waking up in the movie Red Dawn and seeing all those foreigners flying down in parachutes, coming down, descending onto your territory to try to take over your country. You definitely feel like you was under attack. That was a trip, but that was some pretty convincing footage. What do y'all think about that? check, please. I ain't got no time or patience to deal with these crazy psychopaths. Devil worshipping idiots.
It's AI, bro.
Oh, really?
It's AI, bro. It's so fake.
Yeah,
It's AI. I hate AI.
you're a genius.
It's AI, bro.
Oh, really?
It's AI, bro. It's
Absolutely AI. 100%.
Oh, in the fucking making.
Hey, videotape that shit.
Dude, that shit is just
That's
rolling.
a fucking video. Aliens.
It's an orb. I got an orb on video right now. A fucking orb.
What the fuck is
Unedited. Oh my god.
What the
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's on the surface of the water. It's on the surface of the water. It's just skimming across the water right now. It's not above the water. It's on. Oh! Shit! Oh.
And another pretty convincing piece of footage. What is going on out there, man? What is happening? What is happening?
Frightening footage of unidentified creatures. And the last one is 100% legit and gonna haunt my dreams. Now this one's quick, so pay attention. It's of a supposed sewer creature that was captured by a water company somewhere in England, and they have a second clip that is truly terrifying. What in the Lord of the Rings is that? Dude's just looking for his precious, I guess. And this one is of someone taking a stroll in the woods, and they see something that I can't explain. What? Now, the fact that it makes a noise at the right opportune moment makes me think it might be computer generated, but what do you think? And this one is totally legit and absolutely creepy. Fish has got a human face. Good night.
Damn sure be the last time I ate fish. Wouldn't be messing with that.
The paranormal chick here. When we talk about investigating the paranormal, hinting at a world that runs alongside ours that we very rarely get to see, it's because of videos like this. This witness captured an unidentified cryptid. He was recording what looks to be like some being walking along the beachfront. Now, the question is, what is this? It almost looks like an elf, maybe something demonic. Who knows? But take a look and tell me what you think.
Y'all, everything out here ain't a cryptid. That little girl had something on her head. She might have been coming from a little dress-up party. I don't know. But she probably got on some elf ears because her face looked like an elf. So she probably dressing up to match her already accented features for her little party she coming from that she didn't look too happy about leaving. But her mannerisms certainly didn't scream extraterrestrial to me. But that's just my opinion. What do y'all think?
Somebody has taken all of Garth Brooks's tour dates, and every tour date lines up with a missing person or an unsolved homicide. Every place he's ever been. Somebody, one of these people, one of Segura's fans, came up with the theory that if you take that there's a list out there. She says there's supposed to be a list out there where somebody has taken all of Garth Brooks's tour dates, and every tour date lines up with a missing person or an unsolved homicide. Every place he's ever been. Now and I asked her, I said, is there really a list? And she said, no, there's no list. She goes, I've looked, Pete looked, like we looked. There's no list. But she said, so I started trying to make the list. And she said, and I did it for whatever she said, 5 hours, 6 hours, couple days, whatever it was. She said, and I started coming up with name after name after name. And she said, and then her husband was like, what are you doing? Like, could you get a hobby that doesn't cost us money, that's going to actually pay off?
Right.
And so I ended up saying, wow, I said, that is super interesting because, she started talking about confirmation bias and that
So she went looking for missing persons reports that coincided with his tour dates.
Yes.
Okay.
And obviously there are. So I said, you know what? Has anybody ever written a book about this? And she said, no. She's she's like, I don't have the time. She's, I thought about it. But I don't have the time to do that. And she said, besides the amount of research it would take to do that, she's like, and in the end, she's like, what's going to happen? She's like, I'm not going to prove that he's a serial killer. So what does it matter? And I was like, it's satiric though. It's funny. And she goes, yeah, I don't have that kind of time. She's got like 2 kids and a husband. And I said, you know what? I said, I have that kind of time. I said, my buddy Pete's got that kind of time. And Pete's on the spectrum. You give Pete an assignment, you're going to get some stuff. So I called Pete. I said, Pete, this is what I'm thinking. I think we look into this. And he said, oh, absolutely. We have to look into it. And so we started doing research. And we hired 2 researchers to look up. We broke up the list first of all, just to try and find all of his tour dates. There's over 1,000 of them. Not to mention Grammys, Billboard Awards, everything. All the places he's lived. He moved here, then he moved here, then he moved here. I mean, from when he grew up in is it Oklahoma? Yeah, in Oklahoma, like every place. So we're searching it, and we only did what we could find online, right? Like we're not flying people out to Oklahoma and going through records. We're doing what we can.
Yeah.
And very quickly, we came up with about 120 missing persons and around roughly 90 unsolved homicides. And I am telling you, the man is a monster.
Shut the fuck
up. I'm trying to save lives here, Danny.
Man, another one bites the dust, man. Garth Brooks is one of my all-time favorite artists, man. I love me some Garth Brooks songs. I'm gonna keep that specific to his music. But if you haven't went down the Garth Brooks rabbit hole on him being a serial unaliver, y'all about to go down it right now. Let's keep on this Garth Brooks thing, shall we? And the thunder rolls.
If you're new here, I cover the darkest rabbit holes that nobody else wants to touch. And if you're not following yet, you're going to miss the biggest update on the Garth Brooks missing people theory. Yo, for years, fans online have been connecting the dots between Garth Brooks' tour schedule and unsolved mysteries. The viral Garth Brooks Bodies Map theory claims his concerts overlap with missing people reports and unsolved homicides across the U.S. Some even call it the strangest celebrity conspiracy ever posted. Here's where it gets eerie, though. Researchers reportedly tracked over 1,000 of his tour stops, and within that, they claim to have linked roughly 120 missing persons and nearly 90 unsolved homicides in those same regions. Even Tom Segura famously talked about this, saying, once you start digging, the names just keep stacking up. Take one example. When Brooks attended college in Oklahoma, a young woman was found unalive nearby. Years later, when he was working in Nashville, multiple disappearances were reported near the boot barn where he worked. According to the stories collected by Segura and his researchers, these connections kept appearing, sometimes within just miles of concert venues or where he was living at the time. If you live near places he's performed or if you've traveled to one of his tour stops, you ever heard locals whisper about this? Did your city have missing persons during his tours? Drop your stories down in the comments, especially if you're from Nashville, Oklahoma, or cities along his big state fair runs. And follow right now if you want to see how deep the Garth Brooks rabbit hole really goes and other true crime cases, because this next piece of this theory is probably even darker. Most people scroll past stories like this, but not you. You're still here, so hit the follow button because the next update, you don't want to miss it. Y'all, drop those guitar emojis in the comment section if you made it to the end of the.
And y'all, Garth Brooks, he definitely got those crazy eyes. Got those sociopath, psychopathic, serial killer eyes for sure. You ever watched any of his stuff and just looked at his eyes, man? His eyes is crazy. Crazy. But damn, his music is good.
This is wild. Some people online may think Garth Brooks is a serial killer, and I have gone down the rabbit hole because some of the stuff is definitely bizarre. I'm not gonna lie. Now, does this absolutely mean I think he's a serial killer? No, but I think it's interesting and fun to talk about. This is one of the craziest conspiracy theories, so let's go ahead and spill it, okay? This is alleged anonymous, I know nothing. So people are saying and suspecting that Garth Brooks is a serial killer because this all started from the comedian Tom Segura started pointing out something super strange where people would go missing from wherever Garth Brooks has done a tour or done a concert. And there's so many unsolved murders, people who end up dead over by where Garth Brooks is. Like, it's mind-blowing. Somebody actually collected a huge list of names and put it together with a map to show exactly what's going on. And oh my goodness, it like lines up perfectly and it's weird. It was Tom Segura who came up with the list of names and hired researchers to research all the missing people on the map. And I know some people are like, no, it's probably just recent. Maybe there's a serial killer, maybe. But listen, this goes on for decades. I'm talking about tour stops in the 90s. Now, here's one example that really kind of like slapped my chaps a little bit, because when Garth Brooks went to college, it was at University of Oklahoma, whatever it is, whatever the college is over there. And there's a woman there that went to the same college as he did, and she ended up being murdered there. Her apartment was only a few miles away from Garth Brooks' apartment. She attended the same college as him. That's really weird that it was even connected and that she was murdered at the same college. Okay, and if you're like, ugh, that's nothing, well, then we moved to Nashville. He moved to Nashville and he starts working at the Boot Barn. Now, during his time at working in the Boot Barn, three people go missing in the same area or vicinity of where the Boot Barn is. That is now 4 people murdered over by Garth Brooks. Now that like blows my mind. Now he's still working at the Boot Barn. That's where he gets signed to his label, and they put him on tour to like go around all the state fairs and sing and stuff.
If I never wake up in the morning.
That dude got some crazy serial killer eyes. No cap. Look at those eyes. Those are the eyes of somebody who likes to eat long pig.
Well, as he's on tour, there's like a missing person here, unsolved case here, someone's murdered over here, all in the states where he was at. Make it make sense. And then he goes on to get really big and he starts, selling out in stadiums. Well, girls are going missing on each city over by the stadiums. You cannot tell me that this isn't, it is alleged and anonymous, I know nothing, but you cannot tell me that this isn't fishy. It's fishy. If you guys want a part 2, let me know. I didn't even mention Chris Gaines yet. Bye.
If somebody called you up and said, hey, we got this charity thing going on, would you ride a bull?
I'd rather kill somebody. That'd be fun.
This is wild. Some people online may think Garth Brooks is a serial killer, and I have gone down the rabbit hole because some of the stuff is definitely bizarre. I'm not going to lie. Now, does this absolutely mean I think he's a serial killer? No, but I think it's interesting and fun to talk about. This is one of the craziest conspiracy theories, so let's go ahead and spill it, okay? This is anonymous, I know nothing, but you cannot tell me that this isn't fishy. It's fishy. If you guys want a part 2, let me know. I didn't even mention Chris Gaines yet. Bye.
I'm sure you already know who Chris Gaines is, but if you're one of the 12 people on this app who do not know who he is, then this is going to be real interesting for you. This is Garth Brooks, probably the most famous country singer of all time. But did you know that before he was famous, he wasn't even really into country music at all? He actually was more of like a rock type of a musician. But at some point, he realized that he had the opportunity to make a lot of money as a country star, so that's pretty much what he did. He dropped the whole rock persona, and he just went straight into country. So it would be fair to say that rock was like his true passion and country was kind of like a sellout thing for him. I don't know. I guess that's not, but that's what it looks like, okay? I don't know anything. So anyway, in the late 90s, all of a sudden he decides to create this alter ego called Chris Gaines. Chris Gaines is kind of like a rock persona. So, is it possible that this is who Garth Brooks actually always wanted to be as a musician? He created an extremely elaborate backstory and everything for this quote-unquote character. Like, I mean, if you look up the backstory for Chris Gaines, it's just, it is so detailed, like so weirdly detailed. Like, he's from Australia. He has like all these very specific like life events that all lead to a certain point where he gets into a car accident and gets a scar, and it's just like, it's so detailed. Like, if you look it up, you'll see. You know who else comes up with really detailed backstories for fictional personalities? People with DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. So what if Chris Gaines is actually another personality of Garth Brooks because he is suffering from a mental condition? I don't know. If that were the case, then his other personality, Chris, may have decided to take the driver's seat and was like, hey, let me have a run at this whole music thing. And this brings me back to my previous video where we were talking about the conspiracy theory where allegedly Garth Brooks might be a serial killer. What if it's not Garth Brooks? What if it is another personality living in a system in his head, Chris Gaines, and Chris Gaines is actually the one doing this? If that were the case, it's very likely that Garth Brooks doesn't even know that this is happening, because people with DID tend to black out when their other personalities are in control or in the driver's seat. I should also mention, I know how stupid this is, and it's definitely not real, but it's funny to talk about. Garth Brooks, please don't sue me.
If in fact it is real, and Garth Brooks is a serial unaliver, this is most likely the perfect explanation of why and how he's doing those things he's doing, if he were to be doing them. Again, all alleged, just a story. Don't sue me either, Garth Brooks. We just talking about you.
Guess who's back? Who's ready to get McScrewed?
I've heard you've been holding out on me. That's okay. I'll just lower my prices and reel you back in. Don't worry, it's not poison. No, it's just food. Delicious, juicy, perfect food. You thought you could escape me, but your hunger for me rots inside your souls. I'm loving it.
Let's talk about these rumors of McDonald's serving us human meat. So supposedly the first time human meat was found in McDonald's was in 2015. It's said that there was rumors of human meat being processed in McDonald's meat factories. And when inspectors went to investigate these claims, they found human and horse meat in a McDonald's meat factory. The story goes that human meat was found in 90% of the locations, and horse meat was found in 65%. I couldn't find the audio clip, but here's what an FBI agent had to say about this.
FBI agent Lloyd Harrison told reporters, "The worst part is that it's not only human meat, it's child meat. The body parts were found across the U.S. factories and were deemed too small to be adult body part."
Now, in those articles from 2015, it was said that these claims are currently being investigated, and no real answers ever came. Actually, from what I found, McDonald's just said, "Oh no, we didn't do that." Check out part 2.
Investigation and information on that. The FBI has been following for 3 days. Here on 7 Action News, is a Detroit business buying and selling human body parts illegally? And what was inside the business? It may shock you. 7 Action News investigator Jim Kurtzner is live with the very latest tonight. And Jim, is this part of that investigation? Is that winding down at all yet?
It is indeed, Jeff. Take a live look behind me. This is what's left of the FBI evidence recovery team inside this car, and take a look at this vehicle. We believe this is the owner of the business just returning to take back possession of his business. More on that in a second, but take a look. Another busy day out here on Detroit's east side, just down the road from City Airport. Sources say they have removed several boxes of what is believed to be human remains. Sources say many people. This was a big operation. And get this, inside this business, a saw used to cut up bodies, it is believed. All taken away as evidence to the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office, where it will be tested. This business is known as International Biological. It advertised as a medical educational service provider. The owner is Art Rathburn. He has a mortician license, has had in Michigan since 1982. too. But the big question is, did he get human bodies illegally? And was he selling them illegally? Just moments ago, the owner, we believe, showed up. I tried to ask him some questions. Mr. Rathburn, will you talk with us? What do you have to hide, sir?
You just never know.
Just found out McDonald's has contracts with like hospitals.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
For what?
No, it's like, I don't know. That's why I don't know. But McDonald's has contracts with hospitals, and I'm like, yo, there's been stories where a mom finds like a tooth in the McDonald's Happy Meal burger and shit like that. So like connecting to the KFC, we are chicken. Is it trying to say that like, oh, they're feeding, we're the mystery meat? Like, are we the mystery meat?
Wait, they're putting like human flesh?
Yeah, because there's only 100,000 cemeteries in America, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many deaths. So where are the bodies going? And this guy literally had to delete his video because the graveyard CEOs were like, nah, this can get you fired.
Oh shit.
That's real like tinfoil though. Like, you do your research. There's something called Soylent Green. Yeah. I can't even get into that because even the TikTok I was listening to said she couldn't explain it. But go look at that movie.
So you think in the chicken nuggets, because it's just like the pink slime and stuff.
Yeah, like
they put let's say 99% chicken, and then they put like 1% like human.
Yeah, I don't know though, but that's like the theory.
So it's confirmed McDonald's has contracts with
that's
like
what everybody was saying in the thing.
I could see that being a thing, but not because of that.
Straight in the eye and say, don't eat me. Okay. Straight in the eye and say, don't eat me. Okay. Straight in the eye and say, don't eat me. Okay.
You know, them Simpsons always be on point. Just in case you didn't get a chance to read that, I'm going to back it up. I'm going to pause it just for a second. That way you know why it's being paused. I'm doing that intentionally. Reckon I can just read it for you. If McDonald's is feeding you human meat, what do you think is in the hospital and school food? Ronald McDonald is close to the hospital. Hey, also, fact, did you know that the character Ronald McDonald is actually based off of and created off of a real person, a traveling salesman named Ronald McDonald that used to do his face like that, like a clown, and was found to be a serial unaliver and feeder and eater of the things he unalived. True story. Check that out. That's way too many coincidences for everything just to be a coincidence around here, y'all. I'm just saying. It's always in our face.
We already know that McDonald's was caught with human and horse meat in 90% of their meat packaging facilities. But what about these poison-filled French fries?
Go to McDonald's anywhere in the world, you will find French fries, and you will find that they're always made from the same potato, the russet Burbank potato from America, that's unusually long and difficult to grow, but that's what they want. When you're McDonald's, you like those red boxes with a little bouquet of very long chips, and they further insist that they have no blemishes at all. And there's a very common defect of russet Burbank potatoes called net necrosis. And you've seen potatoes with little brown lines. Well, McDonald's won't buy them. And the only way to eliminate that is to eliminate an aphid. And the only way to do that is with a pesticide called Monitor that is so toxic that the farmers who grow these potatoes in Idaho won't venture outside into their fields for 5 days after they spray. And then when they harvest their potatoes, they have to put them in these atmosphere-controlled sheds the size of a football stadium because they're not edible for 6 weeks. They have to off-gas all the chemicals in them.
Guys, every time you let your kids eat McDonald's French fries, they're getting poisoned by Monitor.
Message.
What's the deal with September the 2nd? Jeffrey no longer blackmailing Trump, the king of the world, writing Charlie's name on artillery shells for what they're doing in the Middle East? Something is extremely wrong right now. The things I just said, that's nothing. Wait till we get a little bit farther in the video. I kid you not when I say I've been analyzing for the last 72 hours. And the longer it goes, the weirder it gets. Let's get into it. So let's start here. You may have seen this, how they had written a letter to Charlie and his family. It's their actual Twitter page, but they put the wrong date, but not once, twice. September 2nd, and also in the Hebrew calendar, the equivalent of September the 2nd. Wait till you see what I found. Here's it a little more clearly. And then there were many pages that deleted it and reposted one saying September 12th. So on a whim, I go to Charlie's page. I'm like, I wonder what's going on September 2nd. I get down to this. What is going on in Utah? Completely unrelated that letter to Charlie's family was dated on the 2nd. And all these articles with controversy with him showing up to Utah. And him himself posting in the Middle East seems very divided on this controversy, because the Times of that Middle Eastern country are saying a bunch of bad things about Charlie right now. These are very real articles just posted a few days after what happened. Go read them yourself. The wrong kind of friend rethinking Charlie Kirk's support. And while this is going on, allegedly, I mean there's pictures, but allegedly, don't believe your eyes, artillery shells in the memory of Charlie Kirk. You know where those are going. The same place that there's a massive blackout right now, completely cut off from all society. And unrelated, you know that Charlie Kirk's dad, W.R. Kirk, is the architect who was involved in the construction of the Trump Tower? This part's wild. It really needs a double take. Trump was asked about that situation, and look at his body posture.
And I'm wondering if you think if Charlie Kirk's assassin worked alone or if he worked with him.
I don't know. I mean, I can tell you he didn't work alone on the internet, because it seems that he became radicalized on the internet. That's just by watching the same things that you're watching and hearing. It looks like he became radicalized over the internet.
If you have any discernment whatsoever, you can feel how dense that air is. And we do know that someone in a gray shirt took the camera that was directly behind Charlie Kirk. And yesterday I made a video about how they were literally building over where it had just happened. People said, no, you're wrong, it's just a memorial. The memorial was not decided yet. Take it out of his mouth himself.
This is the courtyard where it all happened. It's now open to the public again. There are a lot of people coming here, planting flowers, cards, things like that. The university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was speaking with pavers. And there are several petitions online asking the school to make this into a permanent memorial.
Let me end this with asking you just a few questions. One, when have we ever seen a crime scene torn down so quickly? I can think of a few. And also, when has someone been facing the death penalty and not even flinch? For every one thing I said, there's 10 I didn't say.
You're gonna think I'm insanely crazy what I'm about to say, but it is true because none of y'all think. Again, a lot of y'all hear the Titanic sank because it hit an iceberg, and y'all believe it automatically because it was told to you, and don't realize ice doesn't cut steel. So just listen to what the fuck I'm about to say and take it for what you want, or just scroll. And if you already scrolled, you're about. Do any of you guys know how your Fitbit works? Huh? How it tracks your blood pressure, how it tracks your heart rate, how it tracks, everything. Tracks your sleep. How does your Apple Watch do these things? How does it do that? Really? It tracks things that a pulse should not tell you. But it does. It does. Yeah, how does it do that? What if I told you we are all hacked? With transmitters under our skin. While we still think we're taking these jabs, we are being augmented through radio frequency. I'm gonna shut up. All types of frequency. I wanna say a whole bunch of things, but I gotta be careful. What if I told you in a very near distant future, and we'll be conditioned by the DOD, supplement be a requirement that we think the mark of the beast is something that we must use to pay and buy and sell, right? When I tell you that is the mirage, that is what they want you focused on. In all actuality, every nation will force augmentation, trans augmentation by force. If you don't comply, you won't be able to buy. Transhumanism is the beast system, not a mark on your hand or head. There's a woman on here who speaks about it all the time, and she goes through this. And I just watched a video that clicked so hard. I've been trying to tell y'all the end game. But again, you guys want to believe in the other fear of heaven or hell instead of what's right in your face when Peter Thiel says human beings should not exist. And again, how I start this video, how the fuck does your Apple Watch, your Fitbit be able to clock, transmit all that biodata within you if they're not receiving a signal that you've been hacked and already augmented and you don't know. Wake up.
So I like old toxic but true reality. He be having me rolling sometimes. Some of the stuff he says, a lot of stuff he says, be way out there. And I don't go for it, but nonetheless, I still find it very entertaining. But a lot of stuff he says, I do agree with. I don't agree 100% with anybody. I mean, I'm lucky to agree 75, 80% with anybody because, well, I use my own brain. So I make up my own decisions on everything, which leaves me in my own category of percentage rates versus a certain kind. I'm not branded to a certain type. I'm a sax type, period. That's it. But I do like some of the stuff that he says, but I find him entertaining regardless. However, when it comes to what he's talking about with that Fitbit and stuff like that, and you've probably seen the advertisements out for the scale that you stand on and does way more than just give you your weight, right? Well, common sense, basic knowledge, basic understanding how anything works lets you know that that's impossible to do unless it's possible to do. And it can only be possible to do if there is some magical way of reading all of these things going on internally inside of your body, all of your functions, your blood pressure, your sugar levels, yada dee, yada da. It's not coming from you just standing on a scale or from this watch just around your wrist unless it's got a way to read that data. Plain and simple. And with that being said, y'all, it is time, that halfway point, to head on into this intermission. Don't forget and don't be shy. Don't be scared to drop me a like in there, hit that little thumbs up, and don't be scared to drop me a comment while we go into this intermission. It really will help the channel out a lot, and I will really, really appreciate it. Now, let's get into some intermission music. All right, y'all. I really hope y'all enjoyed that. I always try to find something funny, something silly, either some band fails or some really interesting stuff to throw in there for the intermission and stuff that won't get me hit with a copyright strike. But hope y'all enjoyed that. Now, let's slide on into chapter 3. How people feel about this economy we in, y'all. It's tough. It's real tough out there. We all feeling the effects of this.
Y'all, I'm parked in front of Dollar Tree because I'm about to go in there and get some essentials. But before that, I honestly just had like the only crash out because I had stopped to get gas, right? And I'm really in a place in my life where I'm really budgeting my finances because I just don't got it like that. I'm in a real crunch, survival, financial fucking rut. And I know it's not forever, but this is just the chapter I'm in. And as much as I try to be positive sometimes, like it's really hard. It's really hard to be in a financial like survival mode when you don't know what your next move is. You don't know where your next resource is coming from because it fucking makes you hypervigilant. And like when you're hypervigilant, like you can't relax, your brain can't shut off and you can't stop worrying. And that shit just drains all your energy. Like having to worry all the time drains your energy. And I understand that like people are like, oh, pray. And don't get me wrong, I pray. But when I'm about to take a shit and I don't know when the next fucking slice of paper toilet is coming from, like, you know, that's real life 3D shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like it's a really difficult place to be in. And so with that being said, I had $25 in like my Apple Cash card. And so I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna go to the gas station. I'm gonna get $15 of gas. And then the rest, like I'm gonna take to get like a little bit of essentials at Dollar Tree. And when I asked him for 15 regular, he had put gas in my car and it charged my whole shit. And I just stood there because like, I'm not trying to crash out in front of this man, but I'm like, fuck. Like I literally don't have anything else. Like my regular account is negative. Like fuck. I have no toilet tissue. I have no, like I need stuff for the house. Like I don't have water. Like I don't, oh my God. So he was like, oh, like it charges you temporarily. Like it's going to refund you. So I literally drove off and I parked on this random street and I just cried. Like I just cried. Like I let it all out. Like I couldn't even, it wasn't even one of those like boohoo cries. It was just like one of those silent cries where like the tears just come down and you're just like overwhelmed. You just shut down. And within a couple of minutes, like I got $11 back. Thank God. And so with that being said, I'm about to go into the Dollar Tree and I'm about to get, you know, whatever essentials I can with that. But y'all, this is not okay. Like this is not normal. And I share this not because I want to give a sob story, not because, you know, I'm asking for help or anything like that. Because honestly, I'm a person that has a very hard time receiving help, and that's not even like my gist. It's just to shine a light for other people that are going through this shit because I know that I'm not one of one. And it's not even like, oh, you can tell somebody like get a job. Most of the jobs right now, are not paying enough for you to cover rent, for you to cover bills, and for you to be able to live. You know what I'm saying? Like it's insane. And I don't know where anybody else lives, but I live in New Jersey. It's super fucking expensive on like the Northeast. Like it's the fact that other people live like this, because like I said, I know I'm not one of one. This shit is insane. And the fact that like it's only gonna get worse and this economy is only getting worse. Like I understand, like I said, this is just a chapter. Like I'm in my last year of grad school, so I know I'm gonna have a career next year. But the fact that like not many people are in my position and probably, you know, like have kids, have way more responsibilities than I do, and they have to live like this, it's fucking horrible and it's depressing. And I think a big issue with like mental health and depression in this country is probably because people can't take care of themselves, and people know that. It makes you feel like a second-class citizen. It makes you feel like shit. Makes you feel like a bad person, and it makes you feel like you're not enough, and that's a shitty feeling. And it just makes me sad. It makes me sad that as a country we advance as much as we have, but there's so many people that are like falling between the cracks. And I don't know if anything will ever be done about that, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I had to share because this shit is hard. And if you're going through this, I'm really sorry. And honestly, I wouldn't wish this on nobody for
Everybody keeps saying it's going to get better. How is it going to get better? Our economy is so fucked that I work a full-time job. I make $21 an hour working 40 hours a week. I have no extra expenses, no bills out of my living. I have one credit card that's maxed because I've lived off of it. But other than that, I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in 10 years. We have cell phones, but, you know, that's required to live on. But other than that, nothing extra. On paper, my bills are $2,701. My income is $2,710. Do the math. $9 a month before I pay for food, gas, car repairs, any entertainment. There's no money for that. And my car is dying. It's paid for, so I don't have car payments now that I'm going to replace. And I don't know how to do that on $9 a month. $9 to feed myself, $9 to buy a car, $9 for insurance. Yeah. So at the end of the day, this is me because I worked 8.5 hours a day knowing that it's not enough, that it won't be enough. Fuck you, Ontario.
And this is the sad state of reality that we're in right now. Not just Ontario, not just Canada, America as well, for sure. I'm one of those people. And I wish I could get off with only putting in 8 hours a day. I'm still putting in 100 plus hours a week. And that's just running my business at that physical location. And I put in every bit of that online trying to make something happen to generate extra income. They're absolutely correct. You know, it's my income and my outflow. They don't mesh well. You know, my income is only dollars over what it cost me to maintain zero, to not be ahead, but to not fall behind, just to be at zero is where I'm right in that zero line, you know, and I'm doing good to be able to be at that zero line. It's really hard out there. You know, it's sad. It's really sad that we have to be in these positions like this. And, you know, I used to be one of those people that be like, man, these kids, they ain't got no work ethic. They ain't getting out there. And for the most part, a lot of them don't have it. But I can see why they wouldn't have work ethic, because it's just to a point now where it's like, for what? What you're busting your ASS 24/7 and getting absolutely zero progress out of it. You know, it's not pointless, because you have to. Just for good character, you need to have good work ethic, for sure. But I understand where I can see where a lot of these younger people are coming from. I mean, I'm 47. I'm way far from being young, but it's even very hard for me. Very hard. So for this younger generation, I get it. You know, I spent a lot of my time enjoying my life growing up versus trying to stay at one spot for my whole life to retire from. That was never my plan. I never wanted to do that. I wanted to go out and enjoy my life, you know, but had I had known then how bad the economy was going to get and how offset the dollar was going to be versus what you needed to be able to own a home or this or that or the other, then I would have done it a little bit differently. Now, I have zero regrets. I've had an amazing life. I've enjoyed my life, which was the whole point of that. But now in my older years, I'm really playing some hard catch up right now because I do not have the security I would like to have going into these second half of my life. So it's just it's a blend of screwery right now for all of us.
And I thought it was the UK that was on its arse. Seems like these Americans are really fucking struggling with the cost of living crisis. Check this video out. Tell me it don't break your heart. How can someone earning $80,000 a year be struggling to live? This is fucked.
And we are literally the brokest we've ever been. Brokest we've ever been.
But I'm making the most money I ever had my entire life. My husband and I, between the two of us, gross, make like over $80,000 a year. And if you told me a few years ago that $80,000 a year was not going to be enough for a family of four.
I make more than what I made back in 2015. But I am still literally living paycheck to paycheck.
I have to work 60 hours a week and make $80,000 a year to make ends meet. That's insane. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it.
Financially, I don't understand anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function. I can't pay my bills.
And I thought it was the UK that was on its arse. Seems like these Americans are really fucking struggling with the cost of living crisis.
Well, I tell you, this is a hard economy to not do drugs in. Because, you know what's cheaper than 3 days worth of food? Getting a bag of dope and not eating for a week. Then while you're on the shit, you always come up with some fantastic idea to make money. Always. I knew one old boy that used to take pieces of cedar and make homemade lamps. Sold the shit out of them. He'd just stay up all night and make lamps out of pieces of cedar. Wasn't a speck of food in his house, never was. But you know what? You didn't need it. Now, 2.5 years out after getting clean, man, I can't stop eating. I'm hungry all the time. It's so expensive. I'm getting so fat. My blood pressure is high. All I can think about is pizza.
I detected no lies in what he was saying. Obviously, that's not the route you ought to go. But mathematically, it does make sense.
I want to know what type of dirt Israel has in America. Because if you didn't know, they just passed a bill for American taxpayers, which is me and you, to pay for Israeli soldiers, to pay for their retirements. And they're going to be getting more than American vets, than American soldiers. Yes, you heard that right. Now, this video is probably going to get 0 views because every time I talk about that nation, all of a sudden I'm getting 10 views when other videos when I'm talking about absolutely fucking nothing, I could get 1 million. So I'm gonna ask the question: what kind of dirt does Israel have in America? Why we're here bending down to their very will? I want to know. Plus, let's be honest here. Israel isn't even a real country. The real Jews. I'm not even gonna say anything, and I'm just going to leave it there. I want an answer. Does anyone have an answer as to what kind of dirt Israel has in America? That's all.
We are in an incredibly sad time when we have to be extremely careful about the things that come out of our mouth in regards to just naming a certain nation and not bowing down to that ideology. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely insane.
Something doesn't add up. Governments around the world aren't just failing at random. It looks too orchestrated. And if that's the case, then this is dangerous info. I mean, look around. Energy grids collapsing, food systems stumbling, parliaments in constant deadlock. Leaders suddenly look incapable of solving even basic problems. That's not just bad luck. That's stagecraft. The elites are trying to abolish governments. The reason why governments around the world look incapable in the past few years, it's not random. Not at all. Fact. In places like the World Economic Forum, the UN's development programs, and private think tanks, they are already talking about post-nation governance. A future where borders and politicians fade, replaced by algorithmic management. Smart cities run by code, resources distributed by digital overseers. AI not just assisting government, but being the government. Now, AI governance in itself isn't evil. It could mean fairness, efficiency, decisions made without human corruption. But only if it was neutral. Open code, public servers, oversight by truth, not profit. But that's not what's being prepared. Right now, the servers belong to corporate giants. The algorithms are written by private labs. Oversight? Nobody. Which means the people would be trading flawed governments for something worse. A control system you can't vote out, can't question, can't even see. Fact, the EU has already passed laws for AI oversight boards. Fact, the UN's 2030 agenda speaks of automated monitoring of resources and populations. Fact, defense departments are testing predictive governance models as we speak. The collapse of trust in governments isn't an accident, it's a setup. The replacement isn't democracy reborn, it's governance by machine, owned by the same few who hollowed out the old system.
This dude just don't miss. I love his content. I love his speeches. Very well articulated. And any of y'all that's watched me for any kind of time, even though I've only been doing the reactions for a short period of time, I have been talking about him since the beginning. Educated man. I mean, maybe not educated at all, maybe just well read, but nonetheless, a very intelligent person with a lot of common sense.
Well, I'm in the second phase of my career, giving away all the wonderful money that Satya's good work has helped multiply a lot. But I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on because AI is so phenomenal, and my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing. And the president and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases. He mentioned polio, which is one that we're close. We don't need new science on that one. For some like HIV and sickle cell, we do need new science, but the U.S. has the seeds that in the same way that Warp Speed took those seeds and put them together, I think something fantastic can be done. AI for our foundation is that we want a doctor for everyone in Africa through AI. We want farmers to have incredible advice.
You heard what you heard, and I'm just going to leave it at that. You heard it for yourselves from the video that you just watched from this dinner.
Why in the world would I see what I just saw in the picture that JD Vance posted last night that was about his address taking Charlie Kirk's place? Don't get mad at me, I'm just a messenger. And not even what I'm about to show you, but what I show you after. Okay, now first some receipts. The second I saw the picture, something stood out heavy in my brain, and you can see I started researching it right when he posted it. Sometimes you look at something and it screams without volume. This is what I saw. Alarm bells should already be going off in your head. There was two of them, one on each side of the fireplace. And yes, it was him that posted it. So already the top part looked awfully close to Lucifer's sigil. I'm not actually going to post the sigil, and I'll show you why in a minute, but it's much like the Google Play Store. That's actually what it's mimicked off of. But I was also feeling some Babylonian type sigil vibes. As time has progressed, as cultures have gotten together and then separated, the sigils have changed a little bit over time. But we still do have preserved sigils. So I wanted to compare this picture with all sigils on the web. I said, hello, whose demonic sigil is this close to? Can go all the way back to Babylon. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. And it'll get heavier and heavier as we go. The traditional sigil of Lucifer features a style of V often interpreted as inverted triangles or chalice shape. Your image mirrors this when overlaid downward triangle angle on the filled central circle. Wow. It doesn't stop there. It also has radiating elements. The spikes or rays around the circle invoke the morning star aspect of Lucifer or Venus. And it's meant to invoke illumination or forbidden knowledge. When the Bible says that Satan's the god of this world, a lowercase god, you really should believe it. So all in now, so far we have Lucifer's sigil. We also have the morning star, Venus. Third, the Art Deco flair, a modern adaptation of 20th century occult revivals like those in Aleister Crowley. Do you know how high up he was in the US GOV? And the sigil originates in Renaissance demonology when it served the pictorial signature for summoning Lucifer. Now this right here is why I'm not just throwing sigils at you. It says in occult traditions, drawing and using a sigil without preparation is said to invite unintended energies. We know. That's why I go off all the time about creators sharing demonic bullcrap, utter debauchery on purpose for views. Because they're bringing demons in your house. So they can get a check. Really makes me mad, but I digress. You can see the percentages of which sigils and whatever right here. Fast forward. Now this I figured out a few days ago, but I forgot to show you. Time Magazine, enough. This was within, I believe, 24 hours of the event. Of course, completely unrelated, the wording on this. Completely unrelated, of course. Enough. Why in the world would I see what I just saw in the picture that Jay...
Officially here.
I am now about to launch...
Ladies and gentlemen, pre-crime is officially here.
I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
It's America's early warning system to stop anti-Semitic attacks. And yes, it's going to be the Israeli government who are going to be the ones ordering the arrest of American citizens for crimes they've yet to commit. Oh, and one last thing, if you guys have ever heard of predictive programming, well, fun fact, the Israeli AI predictive policing technology is called Gideon, but Gideon also happens to be a character from the pre-crime division department in the movie Minority Report. Coincidence? You let me know.
Welcome to Common Sense University, where common sense saves lives. I'm your teacher, Ace Smart. And since you stupid motherfuckers never go read nothing, sit your duck ass down and let me show you something. Today's word is fascist. Yes! We're gonna teach you what the fuck you've been writing on that fucking board all this time that you never seem to answer. Stupid motherfucker! At the bottom here, the first thing that you're gonna see is glorification of violence. Goddamn, who the fuck does that sound like? Glorification of violence. Strong centralization and control of economy and society. Who else told you to call them by their fucking pronouns, or we gonna get you banned, we gonna get you doxxed, we gonna get you fired? Who else told you to do that? This is the word fascist. I want y'all to remember that. Suppression of opinion. The word fascist is denoted to the suppression of one's opinion. Who was just recently killed for their opinion, and then they went back down to further elaborate in fascism? They glorified the violence. Who else did that? You stupid motherfuckers! Fuck you! Fuck you!
He's not wrong. Well, y'all, we have come to that part of the show where it's about time for those curtains to close. But you know I'm not about to let y'all leave here in no bad spirits. We got to come in this house happy. We got to leave this house happy. So we're going to send you out of here with some smiles. So is y'all ready to laugh? Let's get that on. But before we get those giggles on, don't forget to jump down there, hit that like, and throw me a little comment. Help me push this channel along. I'd appreciate that. Other than that, let's laugh.
The reason that women live longer, Mark, let me tell you, it is because we are stronger and we are happier at the end of the day than most men. And that is factual, and you know it.
When men are married to women who scream like you, they just want to die soon.
also pick a number between 1 and 10?
5.
A 5? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Here you go. There's 5 brooms for you.
I can't take it.
No, you're too kind. We're making a video. We're giving back to the community, spreading some kindness. Here you go. There you go. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Wow.
Alright, smile if you're alive.
Hi, ladies. Hey, bro, nigga, chill, no, bro, it's not.
Are you? Oh my gosh!
All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that clip, or those clips, I guess I should say. Well, thank y'all very much. I really appreciate y'all spending some more time with me again tonight. And just remember, the world is just a big stage that is full of actors. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears peeled, and keep that head on a swivel. All right, y'all. That's it for tonight. We'll see you on the next one. I love y'all. Peace.
Kingdom last year when it was leaked to the media.